so I know I promised. We're gonna do a little cool down here. So whether you've just done strength training, you've just gone for a walk, but particularly if you've done high intensity interval training, and you'll see that somewhere else here for you. So I want you to come into a lunge, and I know that I'm gonna give you a lot of cues, some you may not need. Better for me to cue you based on 38 years of experience, knowing placement and what may cause problems that aren't mandatory. So I'm gonna give you all the cues, and you can just bypass the ones you don't need or aren't ready for. In a lunge position, back heel is down. This is important in your stretch. Heel down, take your hip and push it forward. That happens through your bum. So you've activated your core and you've activated your bum, and really between knees and shoulders, it's all core, sister. Okay, so hold that. What you should be feeling is really a stretch here. You may also feel a stretch in your calf. If you're fairly loose, flexible, you may not feel a stretch. Don't worry about it, we're gonna get there, I promise you. Okay, so you hold stretches about 15 to 30 seconds. Here's another way to increase this stretch. So front of my arm and shoulder, front of my chest, front of my hip, and I'm gonna lean that back, but I'm leaning it back as I push, meaning there's no pressure on my lower back if I'm truly activated, because I've got this locked and loaded. So you're gonna bring the arm back, and if this one bothers your back, you just don't do it, okay? And relax. Nice job, look like warrior pose. I'm gonna bring that back foot a little closer to me so that I can keep that heel still down and back, bend my knee, and then press my hip forward again. So I'm long through the hip, feeling that stretch again, but now I have a bent knee with the heel down. I'm stretching the underbelly of the calf muscle. It's called the soleus, the big one on top when you stretch straight-legged. That's the gastrocnemius, or gastra for short. Bending, pushing, you get to your soleus. And the soleus is actually a very important muscle for women. Women need some strength in that soleus. It helps power you, and there's research that shows women who don't strengthen their soleus actually fall more and sooner. So we think of falling, well, that's for 80-year-olds and 90-year-olds. Well, there's evidence that women start falling earlier in life, as young as their 50s, more frequently if they don't have strength and power in their soleus. Here's how you strengthen that. Seated with all your coffee table books on your knees, lifting your heels up. Yeah, who knew? You can do that as well at the gym, but people tend to associate it with that's what bodybuilders do. But there's a good reason for you to go in there with the big boys too. And I promise you, you go in there like a boss, knowing what you're doing, you'll intimidate them more than they intimidate you. Push your heel down, push your hip forward, and hopefully you're already doing that. We're gonna take the arm up. If you can, you choose not to, that's okay too. So just opening up the front of your shoulder. This is called your front kinetic chain, your core, your hip as you push through, and straight leg first, and then we're gonna exhale. So we've held that for at least 15 seconds. 15 to 30 is great. A minute or more, it's not better. Repeating it again later for the same short distance. Bringing it in so that I can bend my knee, still keeping the heel down, pushing the hip forward, and then you can add the arm. This one is a little too crowded for me. I just stay here, but I just think about dropping the shoulders down away from my ears and pulling them back. So I'm still getting a good stretch. Okay, so there you have it. Standing for your calves. What else? And hip flexors. We're gonna add this. So if your balance is not so good, you're gonna over here get closer to your couch, chair, wall, whatever you have handy. I'm gonna take this leg out and I'm just gonna pull back. So my bum is back, pay attention, knee over my heel. It's not jetting here because this is gonna put pressure on my knee, so it doesn't need to be there. You want that bum stuck out, your chest going forward, and you're just leveraging with this leg. So this is not really a weight-bearing leg, it's just enough so that as I go here, create the corner and the reach away from the corner, I feel the stretch through the hamstring here. Toes are up. Breathe. and relax. Other side, same thing. So the leg goes forward, but remember, I'm not stepping into it. I'm just jutting it out there, leveraging it. There's a slight bend in the knee that's not as important, so it's not here, it's here. Push the bum back. Sternum goes across the room. If it strains your neck, you drop that chin in just a little bit. Breathe, breathe, breathe. My weight is on my standing heel, and the ball of my foot, yes, is down for balance. That big toe, by the way, is very helpful for balance, but you don't want all your weight forward. So primarily think back tends to trigger a little bit better form. And then release. Nice job. We're just gonna do a little side to side. So I have this leg weight on my heel and pushing inner thigh. We didn't do a lot, but let's warm and loosen those hips up while we are warm. Hold here. Again, weight on my heel, sit back. If you're bothered by this at your knee, it's a sure sign you need to shift the weight back. Weight on your heel, my toes should be able to wiggle in my shoe, and then come back. I want you to tuck that tailbone under, round your back, curl, roll through it, and then come back. Let me show you that from the side. Let's do it because it feels really good to the one who's been packing for days. So weight's on my heels primarily, but I'm gonna take my tailbone, tuck it down, round through my lower back, my upper back, my shoulder blades, and then drop that back. Good, now opening the arms without something to leverage on. I'm just gonna open here, and I'm gonna reach back, passively opening the chest. Make sure you're not locking those knees, bend them, open, drop the shoulders down, little superwoman, sternum to the ceiling. Exhale, don't restrict your breathing, and release. Nice job. I'm gonna bring the arms up. I'm gonna hold on to one of my wrists. So if I'm holding my right wrist, my right heel is what I wanna really press down. Now, of course, you're not gonna do it on one leg, but I just wanted to demonstrate we want this stretch through this side, so we have to anchor the foot. Come over, I'm carrying my head, and as I come to this side, my hips jet this way, so I'm still very much in balance. Now, if I can, I'm gonna open up and look at the ceiling for a better stretch. You may feel this across your IT band and your TFL, that's your tensor fascia lata. Words you didn't know you needed to know. Reach up, but that will help that insertion through the hip. We're stretching a little bit of everywhere. Bring it to the side. Remember, this foot anchors. Push that heel down, ring this one over. For some of you, this is like a yoga pose. For others of you, this is yoga, if you didn't know and don't usually do it. Bring it up. I'm just gonna have you hold your hands up and overhead, but I want you to see it this way. Weight on my heels. I'm gonna bring the arms up, and I'm gonna open back just as much as I can comfortably, but I am anchored right here. So I'm actually pressing my hips slightly forward so my lower back does not feel any strain. And then bring this back and down. Roll your shoulders to the back. Nice work. You still got it, girl. I'd love to know in the comments, how was that? Save it and let me know what else can I do for you.